So we're diving into AI and jobs today.
Hmm.
And, this article, Can AI Safeguard Jobs, from the AI Journal, really flipped the script on how I've been thinking about this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's easy to get caught up in all the doom and gloom, robots are going to take our jobs.
Right, right.
But this article, it actually explores how AI could help companies keep their employees.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's all about this thing they're calling workforce optimization.
Workforce optimization.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so instead of like replacing humans, it's more about using AI to make smarter decisions about like managing people.
Yeah. It's about using data to make better, more human-centered decisions, really.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Hmm.
But how does that actually work in practice? Like, does AI like predict who's going to quit or something?
It can, actually. But,
Really?
yeah. But even before that, think about how AI can help companies anticipate their workforce needs even before they get to that point. Like a lot of companies, they just hire like crazy when times are good, and then they lay people off when things slow down.
Right, right. Yeah.
So reactive.
Yeah, it's like there's just driving without looking ahead.
Exactly. And that's where AI can help companies be more proactive.
Okay, I'm listening.
So one way AI can do this is through something called predictive modeling.
Predictive modeling.
Yeah,
So, like, can you give me an example?
sure. Imagine you have this dashboard
Okay.
that shows you in real time how your staffing levels are impacting your bottom line.
Wow.
That's the kind of insight that AI can provide.
So it's like connecting the dots between people and profits.
Exactly. It's analyzing things like economic trends, market demand, your company's financial performance, all that data, and then, it helps predict future staffing needs.
Okay, so it's not just like throwing darts in the dark anymore.
Nope, it's data-driven.
Data-driven, I like
Yeah,
that.
and the article actually mentions this data engineer, Divyesh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's actually putting this into practice.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he was saying instead of just like looking at spreadsheets and making gut decisions, companies can use AI to create like really detailed headcount projections,
Yeah.
and they're directly linked to financial data.
So they can see, like, okay, if we hire X number of people, this is how it's going to impact our revenue.
Exactly.
That's incredible. And it makes so much more sense than just like winging it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it sounds like with AI, workforce planning becomes less about cutting costs and more about just making sure you have the right people in the right roles at the right time.
You got it.
And Divyesh actually had a great quote about this in the article.
Oh yeah, what was it?
He said, effective workforce planning isn't about cutting costs, it's about optimizing resources.
I love that.
Yeah, it's like, it's not about squeezing people out to save a buck.
Right.
It's about like investing in your people to achieve your goals.
100%.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI can help companies avoid unnecessary layoffs by hiring smarter. But what about the other side of the coin? What about keeping your best employees from like jumping ship?
Oh, that's where AI can be a game changer for retention.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
So we've all probably seen this happen where someone feels like stuck in their role or just like unappreciated.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But imagine if companies could use AI to identify those feelings, like before it's too late.
That would be amazing, but how is that even possible? Like, AI can't read minds, can it?
Well, not yet, at
Okay.
least.
Okay.
But it can analyze data.
Okay.
So think about all the information companies collect about their employees, like performance reviews, engagement surveys,
Right.
even things like how often people are taking sick leave or working late.
Whoa.
AI can analyze all of that to identify patterns that might suggest an employee is, at risk of burning out or just not feeling satisfied.
So it's like having an early warning system for employee morale.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And with that insight, companies can proactively address potential problems, before someone quits.
I see. So instead of waiting for someone to hand in their notice, you can actually address those issues like head on.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And that might mean offering additional training or giving someone a new project or even just like checking in with them.
Yeah, just having a conversation.
Right, just being human.
It's almost like AI can help companies become more human-centered in how they manage people.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
And it goes back to that idea of optimizing resources, right?
Absolutely.
Your employees are your most valuable resource,
For sure.
and AI can help you take better care of them.
Exactly.
This is pretty mind-blowing, using AI to, like, support employees.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely had jobs where I just felt like a number.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nobody even cared if I was thriving or,
Right.
or struggling.
Especially in bigger companies. I think
Yeah.
it's easy to feel that way.
Totally.
But you know what? AI can actually change that.
Really?
Yeah, think about it.
Hmm.
If companies can use AI to figure out, like, who's at risk of burning out,
Yeah.
couldn't they also use it to find the people who are ready for, like, new challenges or, you know?
Oh, so instead of waiting for someone to get frustrated and quit,
Right.
you could actually like proactively offer them new projects, training, maybe even a promotion?
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Keeps your best people engaged and motivated.
And it's good for the company too.
Totally. Win-win.
So win-win.
Yeah.
This brings up another point, though.
Okay.
The article mentions internal mobility.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that means like helping employees move into different roles within the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And AI play a role there too?
Oh, absolutely. And this is something Divyesh talks about a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He says AI can be like incredibly good at matching employees with internal opportunities that really fit their skills
That's so cool.
and their interests.
So like right now, a lot of companies rely on employees to kind of like search for open positions on their own,
Yeah.
which can be,
Time?
time consuming and also like kind of discouraging.
Especially if you're already feeling, burnt out
Right. It's extreme.
or undervalued.
Yeah, totally.
But AI can analyze all sorts of data,
What kind of data?
like your skills, experience, your past performance reviews.
Okay.
Even things like, articles you shared online or projects you volunteered for
Really?
to find potential matches
Wow.
that you might not even know about.
So it's almost like having a personalized career counselor, like working behind the scenes.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
That's incredible.
It really is. And it helps companies tap into like hidden talent that they might not even know they have.
Yeah. Okay. I'm starting to see how this all connects.
Yeah.
AI isn't just about, automation or job displacement.
Right.
It's really about using data to make better decisions about how we like manage people.
100%.
It's about creating a more like human-centered workplace.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think it's also about creating a workforce that's more like resilient.
Resilient.
One that can like adapt to change and really thrive when things are uncertain.
Which feels especially important like right now.
Oh, totally.
Where everything's changing so fast.
With this like age of disruption.
Yeah.
The companies that can use AI to build, a more adaptable and agile workforce, they're going to have a serious advantage.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI can help companies, hire smarter, keep their best people, and create a more adaptable and resilient organization. But I think it's also important to talk about like some of the potential downsides.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What are some of the things we need to be careful of, as we start using AI to make these really important people decisions?
You're right. We can't just blindly jump into using new tech without thinking about like the possible downsides.
Yeah.
And with AI, I think one of the biggest things to worry about is bias.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Like, if the data that you're feeding the AI is biased, then the AI itself will be biased.
100%. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Like, for example,
Yeah.
if a company has historically promoted, more men than women to leadership positions,
Okay.
the AI might learn to like keep doing that,
Oh, wow.
even if nobody wants it to.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
No.
It's about the people who are, like, building it and using it.
Yeah, totally. That makes sense.
And that's why it's so important to be aware of these potential biases,
Yeah.
and to take steps to, like, fix them.
Like what kind of steps, what can companies do to make sure they're using AI, responsibly?
Well, first off, they need to be really careful about the data they're using
Okay.
to train their AI systems.
Yeah.
They got to make sure that the data represents the population they're trying to serve and that it doesn't have like hidden biases in it.
So it's not just about having a lot of data.
Right.
It's about having good data. It's about having the right data.
Okay.
And it's also really important to have humans in the loop
Okay.
to make sure that the AI's recommendations are actually like being reviewed and validated.
Yeah. So we're not just blindly trusting the algorithms.
Exactly. We need to make sure there are like checks and balances in place.
Checks and balances. I like that.
Yeah.
It's about using AI as a tool, like to help humans make decisions, not to replace humans entirely.
I think that's a really key point.
Yeah.
AI can be this powerful tool, but it's up to us to use it, ethically and wisely.
Ethically and wisely.
Yeah.
Okay, so We've talked about the benefits, the challenges, the importance of, using AI responsibly.
Mm.
But what does all this mean for the average person?
Right.
Like what does this mean for you, the listener, who's
Mhm.
probably wondering how AI is going to impact their job, their career, their future?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone has, like, a perfect answer.
Right.
But I do think there are some things we can all do to be ready for a future where AI is going to be a bigger and bigger part of the workplace.
Like what can we do like right now?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be adaptable
Okay.
and open to learning new things.
So like constantly be learning.
Yeah, like the skills that are hot today
Yeah.
might be totally useless tomorrow.
Right.
So we all need to be constantly, upskilling and reskilling ourselves.
So we're all going to have to become lifelong learners.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
And that means being like curious and willing to try new things and being
Mhm.
okay with, being a little uncomfortable sometimes.
Embrace the unknown.
Embrace the unknown. Yeah.
I like that.
I think it's also really important to focus on building skills that are like uniquely human.
Okay, like what kind of skills?
Things like, creativity,
Mm-hmm.
critical thinking, problem solving,
Yeah.
emotional intelligence.
Mm.
These are the skills that are going to be even more valuable in a world where AI can do more and more of the routine stuff.
So AI might actually help us become more human.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah,
It goes back to what we were saying about like creating a more human-centered workplace.
totally.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious, like, what about the new jobs that AI might create?
Oh, yeah.
Are there like opportunities on the horizon that we haven't even thought of yet?
Totally.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like just a few years ago,
Yeah.
nobody could have imagined a job like prompt engineer or AI ethicist.
That's so true.
Those are brand new fields.
Yeah.
And as AI keeps evolving,
Hmm.
we can expect to see like way more new and innovative job roles popping up.
So it's not just about like adapting to the changes, it's
Yeah.
about being open to the possibilities.
Exactly. And I think that's super exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We talked about how AI can be used to optimize the workforce, the potential, benefits and challenges, the importance of using it responsibly, and the need for all of us to be, adaptable and open to learning new things.
Sure.
But if you had to choose, like, one big takeaway,
Yeah.
what do you want listeners to walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is not something to be scared of.
Oh,
It's a tool,
yeah.
and it can be used for good or for bad, and it's really up to us to decide how we want to use it.
So the future isn't like set in stone.
Yep.
We actually have the power to shape it.
Exactly. And I think that's a really empowering message.
Yeah, it's like we're at this point now where we can either freak out about AI or we can actually try to shape how it's used.
Like, it's not a robot takeover.
Right,
We get to make choices here.
exactly. And, we've been talking big picture, but I want to get practical for a sec.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm listening to this, right?
Mm.
And I'm thinking, okay, cool, but what does this mean for my actual job? Like, what even is a good job in the age of AI?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's one we're all going to be figuring out for like years to come.
right.
But I think we're already starting to see some changes.
Like what?
Like one thing we might have to let go of is this idea that a good job has to be like full-time and permanent.
You mean the 9 to 5, gold watch, retire at 65?
Exactly. That model's getting shaky.
Yeah.
As AI changes things up, we might see way more people doing freelance or contract work.
Oh, interesting.
It's already happening in a lot of industries.
So instead of one job for life,
Right.
you might have like a bunch of different projects or gigs.
Exactly.
I can see the appeal of that for sure.
Yeah. A lot of people want flexibility.
Yeah, autonomy.
Yeah, totally.
And I guess that could open things up for people who haven't always had it easy in the traditional workplace.
That's a good point.
Like stay-at-home parents, people with disabilities.
Hmm.
They could use their skills on a project basis.
Yeah.
Without needing to fit into that like old corporate box.
Exactly. So maybe AI could actually help make the workforce more inclusive and equitable.
Yeah, not just who gets hired,
Right.
but how work is structured in the first place.
Yeah. Who even gets to participate?
That's a really interesting thought.
It comes back to that idea of AI as a tool, though.
Right, it's not good or bad on its own.
Exactly. It's how we use it.
We decide.
That's what matters.
So even with all this AI talk, it still comes down to human choices,
Oh,
human values,
yeah.
intentions.
And one thing we can't forget,
What's that?
no matter how fancy AI gets, it's not going to replace human skills.
Okay, good.
In fact, those skills might become even more important.
Okay, so all that stuff about robots taking our jobs,
Yeah,
overblown.
I think so. Because even if AI can automate stuff,
Right.
it still needs human judgment, creativity, empathy.
To make sense of it all.
Exactly, to guide it, interpret the results.
And make sure it's being used ethically.
That's huge.
Okay, so we humans are still relevant.
Absolutely.
I'm relieved to hear that.
I am too.
But seriously, what skills are we going to need in this new world of work?
Well, we've talked about some
Yeah, creativity, all that.
problem-solving, emotional intelligence. Those are key.
Mm-hmm.
But one that often gets missed is adaptability.
Adaptability.
Things are changing so fast,
Yeah.
being able to learn news quickly,
Right.
pivot when you need to, handle uncertainty.
That's going to improve.
Those are survival skills no matter what you do.
It's like the only constant is change, right?
Totally. But the speed is wild now.
It's on fast forward.
It can be overwhelming, but also a chance to reinvent yourself.
Okay.
Try new things, discover hidden talents.
I like that, but it's still scary for a lot of people.
I get it.
So how do we navigate this whole transition?
First of all, don't panic.
Easier said than done.
I know, but change is going to happen. Doesn't have to be terrifying.
Okay.
Embrace the unknown.
We've heard that before.
It's true, though. Be curious. Experiment.
Lean into it.
Exactly. Try new things. Get out of your comfort zone.
Don't be afraid to fail.
And invest in yourself.
Learn new skills.
Yeah, keep growing.
We're all in this together, though, right?
Absolutely. We're all figuring it out as we go.
So the more we can, share what we're learning, support each other, collaborate.
The better off we'll all be.
Yeah, okay.
We can create a future of work that's good for everyone.
That's the goal.
That's the hope.
So as we wrap up, what's the one big thought you want to leave us with?
The future of work is being shaped right now,
Okay.
and we all have a say in it.
We're not just along for the ride.
Nope. Stay informed, stay engaged,
Don't check out.
and most importantly, stay hopeful.
We got this.
We do.
I love that. A message of empowerment and optimism.
That's what we need.
That's what we need. All right, folks. That's our deep dive into AI and workforce optimization.
It's been fun.
We hope you got something out of it, maybe even some inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, the future of work, it's not happening to us. We're creating it together. So let's go build the future we want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thanks for listening.